What's up, guys? Thank you for 10,000 subs. When I think back about all of the things that have happened since I started this channel, it's really staggering, in my own personal life, on the world stage. Truly unbelievable. Yeah, and this channel has afforded me the opportunity to meet a lot of wonderful people, to help a lot of people. It's really been the fundamental thing that has allowed us to live life on our own terms. And despite being shadow banned and demonetized, I still managed to grow to 10,000, so that's really cool and encouraging. And yeah, I'm in Pucallpa, Peru right now in the jungle. It's very hot. There are lots of mosquitoes. But we've been invited to interview an Ashaninka woman who lives more or less traditionally. She has 17 children, and she's a shamana. And I overheard her discussing applications of certain plants that I've never heard used in those ways. So definitely looking forward to learning some new stuff from her. She's very sweet, obviously very authentic. So we're going to travel to her house, and then we're also going to interview a brujo, which is like a dark shaman. I've been advised not to take anything from him, but that he is a really interesting character. So we're hanging around here just long enough to get those interviews done, and then we're heading to Cuzco. And that is interesting for me because it's a place I've been called to since I was a child, and I have an intuitive feeling that this story that I've kind of been gathering parts and pieces of, this puzzle, that the Cuzco trip is sort of the culmination of that whole process. So we're also inviting all of you to join us there. We're going to try to have an event that will be focused on hermetic philosophy and thought and Western mystery traditions and, of course, Andean medicine and jungle medicine. And it's a really convenient location because the jungle is about an hour and a half away. So we can be in the Andes where it's nice and cool and travel down into the jungle for a few days and then go back up. So really excited about that. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can tell I'm completely exhausted. We had to take a 2-day boat here that turned out to be 60 hours instead of 48. And we were expecting like cushy seats, and we ended up on the roof in the blazing sun, and it was freezing at night, and we were sleeping literally on a pallet. And we didn't find out that it was actually 60 hours until we thought we were about to arrive. And we asked the guy, and he's like, no, 3 a.m. So now we have to figure out how to get a hostel at 3 a.m. And we end up contacting this Ayani place, which turned out to be a really great ayahuasca community with really nice people. And they've really been helpful in connecting us with shamans to interview. And there's also the possibility of going deep into the jungle and drinking ayahuasca with totally traditional Ashaninka. But if you're interested in that, you got to let me know right away before we leave in a few days. And also, you need to be aware that it is dangerous. It's not a Disney ride land. This is uncontacted tribe territory. And even the Ashaninka, I've been told if they decide they don't like you, it can be a problem. So, yeah, anybody that decides that they're down for that adventure, just need to be forewarned that it's not necessarily 100% safe. Okay, so one thing I wanted to do is share a highlight. One of the coolest things I think that's happened on my channel. ever. Let me get my screen sharing set up. All right, so it's working. Make sure the audio capture is on. Here, let's make sure that setting is correct. Okay. All right, so the backstory, real quick. This video was obviously videoed in 4 different locations on the coast and in the mountains over several weeks, and it's 25 minutes long. So when I was looking for the spots where I wanted to put cards to link to other videos, I knew I had talked about 1111, and I have an 1111 video. So I was trying to find where did I talk about this, and after searching and searching, it finally occurred to me to try clicking on 1111. You see that? Exactly at 11:11. And so if you look at what I was saying, as well, the context, I could have sworn I was saying that just mentioning these synchronicities or thinking about them could cause them. But maybe. Let's see. If it was maybe a little earlier. Oops. Anyways, that was wild. And I think it's the same video where I'm talking about a meditation where you freeze an image in your mind. And when I say that, the video glitches and my face freezes for like 5 or 6 seconds, which is pretty wild stuff. Yeah, and of course, shout out to all my patrons. You guys have really carried us over the years. I have not quite yet achieved my goal of getting back up to our highest monthly patronage, which was like $2,500 before I got demonetized. And they really do push your content a lot less. So that's been really frustrating to know that, the feedback that I've gotten from people about how meaningful it is, it's obvious to me that the content has value to people. So endless frustration knowing that I don't really get a fair shot. It also kind of makes it more meaningful that we have managed to grow over the years, but super frustrating. Wild too, how much has happened. You know, I became a father during the time that we started this channel. I've lived in the jungle with all sorts of different tribes and shamans for 3 years now. I've held monkeys and seen anacondas and tapir, petted tapir, petted one. You know, eating piranhas all the time. It's just really been a wild experience, you know, and to see my son growing up in the jungle. His second word was Bobinsana. He could identify like 11 medicinal plants when he was 18 months old. He would pick stuff from the jungle on his own when he could barely walk, and he never picked anything that wasn't edible. You know, and that environment for a child, I'm sure, is, you know, spectacularly beneficial for development, to be here in the Amazon and witness all these things. He got thrown, like grabbed by the hair and thrown through the air by a capuchin when he was like 16 or 18 months old. Just body slammed him. He didn't get hurt because it was sand on the beach, but it was a pretty crazy thing to see. You know, I walked a few feet away to throw something away, and I turn around and I see this monkey grab him by the hair and just toss him. Wild shit. Let me turn my background back on. So yeah, I mean, and then for the future, I'm planning to really, when I get up into the mountains, I really want to try to focus on rebuilding my health. You know, the Chagas incident really messed me up. It likely has given me a pretty short lifespan because of the damage it does to your heart over time. So something that is definitely on my mind, and I'm going to do a body transformation series because I think it'll really help to put the public pressure on myself, you know, to say I'm going to do this, and then I'm kind of committed to it because I told everyone that I'm going to do it. So that'll be cool. And then I'm really trying to go into monk mode when I get up into the mountains. And, you know, when I started this channel, one of the main themes was that if you can really tune into your true will, and especially if that true will is in alignment with the collective well-being, which translates to the collective will, you get swept up in a current that is much larger than you and your individual will. And so you have the capacity to basically live whatever life you want. And the experience of deprogramming and opening the mind comes with all sorts of extraordinary, enriching, amazing, sometimes terrifying experiences that definitely make life deeper and more rich and interesting. Never a dull moment when you're walking between worlds all the time. So, you know, basically I told my family and everyone that I was going out to the West Coast to try to play with Grateful Dead affiliated people. Like, I'm going to prove that you can do this with consciousness and get into their inner circle. And right before I left for Ecuador, I played with Jay Lane, who is now the drummer in Dead and Company, and Dark Star Orchestra with Donna Jean Godchow in the first row. So I picked this very specific and highly unlikely thing that I was going to go do, and I did it. And unfortunately, the pandemic kind of derailed this trajectory that I had been on my entire life. It was my single focus, and there was no fallback plan. I didn't need one. And that's pretty painful, you know, to know that it was working out, and it was working out in extraordinary ways, well beyond anything that I could have imagined. But the pandemic And a couple other things. I mean, my partners spent all my money when I was in South America, so that didn't help. Kind of had to reset my life. Started a Shopify store, and they took it away for without explanation. When it hit the top 25% of traffic that week, and we just kept reinventing ourselves, different businesses on the fly. They all worked, but the pandemic shut down the post office. That killed our rape shipping business. I got demonetized. We still managed to have enough patrons to keep going, but I could not make my way back to California and put my band back together and continue working on my life's work. The point of this is basically that I still stand behind the original message of this channel. It is true that you can align yourself with symmetries that exist in the universe that will help to carry you wherever it is you're intended to go. But there are also forces that are bigger than us. And there is also chaos. The universe is half order and half chaos. So destiny be damned if you get hit by some chaos. We're all susceptible to it. A lesson that I learned in very painful and dramatic fashion a couple of months ago. And, you just never cease to learn and always find yourself achieving new levels of humility. Sometimes in very difficult ways. But it's not untrue. And I think that the fact that I've managed to crash land in a foreign country with nothing and build things over and over again, and survive like this is a testament to that, But it's also really unfortunate that this whole story that was my life's purpose was just sort of suddenly swept away by forces that don't give us any say. Speaking of the past, another old video that I'm really, some of it's kind of cringe looking back because I didn't really know the editing and I was being kind of awkward in the video. But the Eye of Horus video that I made, let me see if I can pull it up. Made a remarkable number of predictions about things that were going to happen in the world that actually did happen. Unfortunately. Here it is. Hopefully it's not too embarrassing. What I said about, there has to be a global gnosis before there can really be any kind of change is absolutely true. I mean, if you look at the outcome of capitalism, miles and miles of homeless people, communism, socialism. It doesn't really matter. As long as people are in a certain frame of mind, any system any ism schism game is going to be abused, and none of them are going to work. The editing, man. Well, it's too bad about the horrendous editing, man. I don't know how. Oh no, Donald. No, we're not. You're not. You get out of here. With your weird butthole mouth. He does have a butthole mouth. What's going on here? Stephen Hawking on the Epstein list. What did he do exactly? Just drool on the girls or what? Like, I mean, I don't understand. Where are you guys at? Trying to find the chat. I'm lost. Oh, there we go. Oh man, nobody liked the ayahuasca video, huh? We got down to 2 viewers. I don't understand, man. I thought that was like one of the most powerful things possible in this. Oh, no sound. Shit. That's why. Damn it. How did that happen? I did check it. Oh, shit. That's too bad. Well, go watch the video, I guess. And, damn, man. Ain't that a bitch? It was really good. Despite the horrible editing. I don't understand what happened. I set it up before I started. What? It shows a signal for the sound. What are you guys talking about? How is that? Man, well, that sucks, you guys, because my thingy says that there is a signal. Yeah, well, I'm at least glad that people didn't just not like the video, because it was a really powerful video. Are you serious? No sound? Yep. That's fucked up. Why? Man. Well, good night, folks.